we talk about strength coming in back to the United States dollar last week after we saw a support level, and then last week candle closes as a reversal candle, and we actually predict that there will be strength in the US dollar throughout last week. And before you know it, last week we have significant strength started coming back from Monday to Friday, even after the drop of the NFP, which comes out better than expected. So last week was a kind of volatile week, especially in gold and then every other US dollar pairs. So what's the next level now? Because last week I told you guys that this level is a significant support level that you should be expecting a bounce from this level, and throughout that week we saw a bounce to this particular resistance level right there, that is in the DSY. So if you check the daily time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about. As you can see, we have hit this significant resistance level at this area. And another thing I wanted to look at here is that the DSY has created a significant reversal pattern, which is a head and shoulder pattern. And in a support level like this, when you see something like this, you should know that that support is obviously going to be respected unless you don't get to see a breakout around this area. And this week we are this new week, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the market. And what are we looking at in terms of volatility? So if you are just joining this channel for the first time, this is Ambafx. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I drop the latest insights and then accuracy in the world of Forex market. So do well to subscribe, like, and share, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell in case I drop a new video like this, so that you can actually be notified. So before we continue with the technical, let's check the economic activities of next week and how it will impact the market, because as I was saying like this, we have a lot of activities next week, so you have to just guide your account with everything in you. So let's check. CPI data and the FOMC statement and interest rate will be in focus next week. So it is expected to be a very volatile week, as the two economic events for 2023, and in all other pairs too, in all other currency too, you will see the likes of pounds, which have a high impact news coming up on Monday, that is on Tuesday, and then the likes of NZD, the likes of AUD, the likes of pounds to want to drop their interest rate reports. You see the like of euro to dropping their PMI result. So but you should brace up for a very high volatile week next week, where you just need to save your account. So what are we expecting here? Let me explain something. So the investors now expecting a Fed to cut their interest rates in March, you understand? So the next week CPI will add to the significance of them cutting the interest rate, understand? Because the forecast is for the US CPI to go up by 0.1%, you understand, on the month after a flat reading in October, that is 0.2 in October. So the annual inflation rate is seen rising 3.1, slowing from 3.2 annual pace in previous month. So that is what the investors are actually expecting at this particular area. So a cooler than expected print, we see the headline figures 4 to 3% or below will add to the rate cut favor, you understand? So why a better than expected reading? will keep more pressure on the Fed to maintain its fight against inflation. So don't forget that Fed is actually saying that their aim is to keep inflation at 3% targets. You understand? So that is what me personally, I believe that the data we add to further signs that inflation is cooling. I understand. So because Fed said last week that he vowed to move carefully on rates, describing the risk of going too far with tightening as more balanced. You understand, with risk of not hiking enough to control inflation, which means that they need to slow down. They have owed the interest rate last month, and then this month they might actually still owed it, and then in March next year, that is first quarter of next year, they will actually want to cut the interest rate. Understand? So we have a lot of activities this month, this week, that you don't want to actually joke with, that you don't want to actually gamble with your account. One more thing I want to say is next week you should brace up for the US dollar, the Swiss franc, the euro, and the pounds. And if you want to enjoy volatility last week, if you are the types that actually like to trade in a news environment, then you should be looking at to trade GBP US dollar, because there will be a very volatile move in that currency pair next week. And after GBP US dollar, you should look at AUD US dollar, because we have AUD unemployment rate on Thursday, and this will be investors' focus as for Monday to know what will actually happen here. So brace up for a very volatile week, as you can see. So no jokes next week. So back to the individual currency. So what are we looking at this week, especially on DSY? So on DSY, I'm actually looking at for the price to, after I see something like this head and shoulder, so I'm actually looking for price to actually break it and then come back to this high. And if we did not see a break of this level, then we might see a US dollar weakness, because if the rate cut saga and if they drop the CPI, and you see that this result will influence the Fed to actually cut the interest rate, then we should start seeing the US dollar weakness coming back to the market. So this level is whatever I'm strongly looking at. If it break, then I think we should brace up for a new move to the upside to 105.929. So I think that's what I'm looking at right there. And if you actually break to the downside, then I think we should be looking at move back to this particular low right there, which is 100. So okay, 99, not even 100, is 99.69. So yeah, I think this is my safe zone. And one of the funnest thing is volatility next week. This thing will actually break here or here, because we have a high volatile week. So any which way it break, because you don't even know, you can't even say okay, this is what is going to happen, but you make your decision on what happens. So what you do is, if we have a break of this area, then you should be looking for price to come back to 105.99. And if we have a break of this area, you should be looking for price to come down to 99.689. You understand? So that is two things I will be looking at on the DSY. So going back to the individual currency, the first commodity, let's look at this commodity, that is gold. So before we go into the currency, and last week I actually sold gold from here. That is I think last couple of weeks, last 2 weeks, yeah. So I actually sold gold from this so I think this is where I'll be taking my profit. So here we should see more move to the downside on this commodity, because gold has break this level. This is December 2023 high, and it has come back to March 2023 high. It has close the this daily candle inside that particular area. So what we are looking at right here is for price to probably retrace to retest this area and then move back down to 1932 unless it break this particular area back to the upside. So let me put it in the 4-hour time frame so that you can see what I'm saying. So here you see that gold has break into this particular zone, and then you see this area is a very strong resistant area. So probably price might actually move and then retest that area, maybe create a weak rejection and then reject. So this is where I'm anticipating price to go at 1932, as you can see. So that is my own view on gold, but you might actually see a slowdown around this area then before it break back to this support level. So based off that's what I'm looking at on gold, for price to come back to this 1932, if possible 1866. You understand what I'm saying? So that is my own view on gold next week. So I'll be looking at it and observing it to actually come and retest this area and start falling right there. So I think we should see continuation of a sell bias on gold right there. And then on GBP US dollar, last week we saw a fall from here after creating, but I told you guys that this level is a 61.8% level last week, that you see price falling from this area, and then we saw this massive fall last week from that particular area, which fall for like 200 pips to the downside from this particular area. So what is the next thing we are looking at on GBP US dollar? So I think we should see a bounce right here, because if you look at this area too, it's a significant support level, and if you zoom in further, you see that price creates a weak rejection candle at that particular area twice, and you see despite the NFP coming out than expected, despite the US dollar strength last week, it still bounced around this area twice, and then fails to even price fails to come back to this area. So what's the next thing we are looking at right there? I think we should see a move to the upside above 1.2505. So above this area, we should continue seeing GBP USD to the upside. But if price now come and break into this to this low right here, then we should see price coming back to 1.23500. But if price stay above this area, then we should be looking at more move to the upside, because if you check this area, you see that there's a significant there's a significant pattern here that you might see markets moving like this, and then it break out back to this high at this particular area. So watch out for how price what price do at this level, and then on Monday you should use it to see how the 4-hour candle actually relates around this level. But if it break back below 1.25015, then I think I will still be in a sell bias back to this particular level. But if you still stay above this area, because you know that level is a 61.8, so there is a high probability that we might still see price coming back to this particular low, maybe even break this, and you understand, and started going down. You know what I'm saying, on a long term basis. So you might still see something like this, and then something like this, and so that is what I'm actually saying at that particular level. But you don't know what will happen, so just follow what actually happens. So if price still stay above this, then I think we should see a breakout, and if price stay below, you should see a continuation to the downside. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, kindly click a subscribe, and then click the thumbs up button, and then like the video. So don't forget to drop comments in the comment section. So another pair we want to check is the Euro US dollar. So that is another pair we want to check. So what are we looking at on euro US dollar? Here too, you can see that we have a massive fall around this area, and then this area too is a 61.8% level, as I said last week. So let's put the Fibonacci retracement there, and you see that price actually reject from there. So we saw a fake breakout around that area, and then market break, reject, and come back to that 61.8 level arena and started falling. So here there are two zones again I'm looking at here that I'll be watching for how price react to that level. So the first one is above 1.07204 at this significant area right here. So that is what I'm looking at. So if price stay above this area, I'll be looking for a buy bias back to this top right here. So this one I'll be looking at right there, a buy bias from here if price to stay above this and back to this high. But the moment I see a break below 1.07204, that is when I'll be looking for a sell bias back to this support level, which is around this area, which is around 1.05283. So let's see how all markets do on Monday. But on Monday, you should be looking at how the Monday candle close and how the 4-hour candle reacts to this area. If they react nicely and show a sign of rejection, then you should know that what you are going to do is to buy. But if they don't show a sign of rejection at this area, then you psychologically you should be ready for a sell bias, because if you eventually break this area, it will actually hit this level with high momentum because it's a breakout. So the breakout might actually be with a in a volatile manner. Understand? So that is what I'm looking at on Euro USD. So watch out how price react to this 2 level, and that's what I'm saying about the DSY 2, that it has formed a reversal pattern, right, which is head and shoulder. But still watch, because not all head and shoulder break a neckline. So still watch out, maybe it will break the neckline or there will be a rejection, and this will be as a result of what happens in the news, what happened in the what actually happened in the fundamental. We have the CPI, the PPI, and the FOMC statement, great statement. So watch out for it. You don't want to gamble with your account. You want to go in with a solid risk management next week. And the next pair we want to check is US dollar Swiss franc. Here too, I will be waiting to see how price react to this area. But me, I have a strong conviction that price will fall from this area back to this level, even if it's still going to break this trend line. This is where I want to sell from next week. I want to sell USD Swiss franc from this particular area, because price will definitely sell from here. I think no matter what, price will sell from here back to this area. If it's unable to now create a new low here, then you will now see a break to the upside. That's how it works most of the time. So I want to sell USD Swiss franc from here, so I might put a sell limit order at this particular area. Understand? So at let's say at 1.89092, so I'm actually put a sell limit at maybe 89015 or stuff like that. So back to this low, that's back to 86980. And if you don't get to see the price coming back here, you might see the price coming back here, and if price come back here and it didn't create a new low, then you should be willing to put a buy at this particular area and target this high right there. That is what I'm looking at on USD Swiss franc. On AUD Swiss franc, I'm looking for a move to the downside unless we have a break of this particular resistance level right there. But if not, I'm looking for a move back to 0.563849. So I'm on sell bias on AUD Swiss franc AUD CHF. I'm on sell bias back to 0.056364 right there, unless we actually see a breakout of this particular area. Then if you see a break to the upside, if I see a break of this level, then that is when I'm going to be joining the buy, the bulls. You understand, the buyers. So I'll be joining them after I break of this. But for now, I'm with the sellers right here. So the next pair I want to check is AUD USD. For me, AUD USD bias is to the downside. So I'm seeing it in a sell bias on AUD USD. So targeting Y ratio 2 at that particular area. So maybe on Monday I'll watch how candle react to this area, but probably this is if it retrace back to this upside, so it gives me more opportunity to enter. Let's say it retraces back to this area, so it gives me more opportunity to enter for a high risk to reward. You understand? So below 0.6 is below 0.6 is 162. Should be looking for a sell bias on AUD back to 0.64533, and then you might actually see a move back to this particular 0.62831. And one of the reasons is that if you take last couple of maybe last month, I draw something like this here, that from here we should see a buy on AUD back to this particular area to create, because this thing keeps creating a new low. So you will see it coming back here and create its own new low before further fall to the downside that will break this particular level. So let's see how price go and what price do at that level. So I'm actually looking at price to break this low right here and then come back to this particular level. Let's see how it goes. But if price move above this area, then the only option when I'll start buying is when we have a break of all these orders right here, because there's a lot of orders right there, and then start seeing price going to the upside. But I'm not in any buy conviction on AUD USD. So what I want to do is to sell unless and if price break through this area, then I'll ignore AUD USD until we see a break of all this level. Then I'll join the buyers. So the next one is AUD Euro Canadian dollar. So on Euro Canadian dollar, I'm looking for price to bounce at this level right here. So this is what I'm looking at, for price to bounce here, creating some drama, and then eventually coming back to hit 1.5093. And then if we didn't see a bounce here, definitely we might actually see a bounce at this particular area, coming back to this high. And then if we didn't see bounce at that particular area, if it breaks this level, then I'll be looking for a sell bias right here to the downside. So let's see how it goes on the Euro Canadian dollar. On AUD Canadian dollar too, I'll be looking for a sell bias on this pair. So I'm now on buy bias. So, and all these things will move as a result of what they drop in their fundamental next week. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at on AUD Canadian dollar for a short position back to this level, and then my SL will be above this area. So that's what I'm looking at next week, unless we now see price maybe coming back to this thing. And then another thing I wanted to see is that we might actually see a buy, because there is a formation of head and shoulder which is not fully formed, but my own bias is a sell bias. And then because one of the reasons, because you have a break of this level, and then this might actually be a test and understand a rejection right there. And another thing I want to see here is this. So I actually see price coming back to this level, and then you understand. So that's what I'm looking at on now. on the AUD Canadian dollar next way, and the next pair we want to check is Canadian dollar JPY. So what are we looking at here? So let's put it in the 30 minutes time frame. Here, if price do not reject from here back to this area, if we break this level up, be expecting price to push up to 108.723. You understand? If we didn't see any rejection around this area, because this area we should be looking for a rejection, and if you didn't see a rejection there, then we should be looking around this area. Then if you didn't see any rejection back to 104, if it's breakout, we're looking for a move to 108.723. That is all I'm looking at Friday. The same thing on US dollar JPY. If you didn't see a rejection around this particular level back to the downside, then if there is a breakout, we're looking for a push up to 147.298 next week. So this one, we don't have to take much time on this one, because we've actually already know what we are looking at on that particular level. So if we are checking the GBP Swiss franc, and last week I told you that we're going to see a rejection from this area, and the rejection, we actually saw the rejection last week, and then price move. So what are we looking at on GBP Swiss franc? For price to keep moving to the downside. So yeah, I'm looking for a sell bias back to this particular low. I still believe that this bounce Swiss franc will still reject, and then we might still see a move back to this low. But the moment if we see price moving higher, and the only time I will join the buyer is when it breaks this particular high right here. You understand? So on New Zealand Swiss franc, I'm still on sell bias as said last week. So I'm still looking for price to break this level to the downside and come out with this low, unless we see a break of 0.53984. Then I actually join the buyers, take profit here, and here if possible. I understand, but my strong bias here is to the downside. So you should be looking at to for a sell bias right there. So on Swiss franc JPY, what you should be looking at is for that particular distance to break to the upside, or to do what. So all these things are like a trap in the market. So you actually watch if it breaks to the upside or it breaks to the downside, then you follow. So if it break here, then you should see a price. Most of these are JPY distance looks alike, and it's giving the same vibes. You understand? So if it break here, you should be looking for here. If it break down here, you should be looking for price to come to this area. And the last pair we want to check is Euro AUD. So what are we looking at on Euro AUD? My bias here is a sell bias, and I'm looking for price to come here again and see how price react to this level. But I have a high conviction that price will actually reject at this level, and then this is my target, that is 1.58845. You understand? So that's it, guys, on the weekly forex forecast. And don't forget that this week, okay, today is Sunday, so this will be a volatile week. That is, let's even say next week, because trading week started from tomorrow. So is a very, very volatile week, and you don't want to gamble at all. You don't want to play with your account. So all this level I mentioned in this video. So watch how price will react to that level and take your decision based on your strategy, based on how you view the market, and based on your entry model. Because me too, I will be entering these zones based on my entry model and based on my strategy. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and don't forget to join our Telegram channel. The link is in the description box, and that's where I drop every pair I want to enter daily, and then I drop the signal there free, and we usually make a lot of money in the Telegram channel. So you should just join us and don't forget to click the link of the verified broker that I use in the description box. They are very reliable, and then the minimum deposit there is $5, and you can withdraw, you can deposit anytime you like. So take care guys, don't forget to trade safely.